Music is what gives Maine a lot of its energy, but the people who create and perform that music often need a helping hand. This can be a tough state for professional musicians, but One Longfellow Square in Portland is about to lend them a helping hand. With us here to talk about it is Emily Reed. She's the executive director at One Longfellow Square. Thanks for being around. It's good to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Before we get into this new program, let's talk a little bit about the history of One Longfellow Square. It has been around now for how long? This is kind of a big year for you.
Yes, 15 years. We're celebrating 15 years as a nonprofit this summer, and there's been so many acts on our stage in this time and so much exciting growth, and we're thrilled to continue to be a part of the Maine music scene.
A lot of people are very familiar with One Longfellow Square and have been to shows, often many shows, but what is sort of the niche that you see yourself filling, that One Longfellow Square is there to serve in southern Maine?
Well, I think we're a smaller, intimate room, so we tend to welcome a lot of acts that are either developing and on their way towards even bigger venues than ours, as well as folks who are really looking for that opportunity to connect with very discerning, attentive music lovers. It tends to be a quiet experience in a listening room. Our music tends to be very acoustic, and it's a really wonderful place to get what feels like a living room concert.
There are a lot of musicians from Maine who have kind of gotten their first big show at One Longfellow, which is a really cool thing. And now you're starting up something special. It's a fellowship program. What is it called?
It's called the Longfellow Emerging Artist Fellowship, LEAF for short. And it's designed to be a program that will give 5 Maine emerging musicians an opportunity to have a year-long professional development year of honing their craft, networking, having an opportunity to just grow as an artist and establish some real bona fides.
There are different elements of what you'll be providing. First of all, money, which is always great for musicians who are starting out because they need it. How much money will they be receiving?
There's a $5,000 stipend for each fellow.
There will also be mentorship, which again can be really important for young artists who are trying to move up. What will the mentorship consist of?
The mentorship is probably we're so excited about this part of the program. When we first were kicking around the idea of this program, we worked with a lot of musicians in Maine who are established musicians and asked what would have been helpful for you when you were starting out. And we learned so much from them, and almost all of them said we'd love to stay involved, we'd love to serve as mentors. So it'll be anything from being able to learn what the career trajectory was for another artist, some real nuts and bolts of here's what makes a snappy bio, here's what makes a compelling headshot for when you're doing that kind of collateral.
So that kind of marketing is one of the things that you'll be helping out with. You'll also
so.
be providing creative space, and there are other elements as well. In the end, what do you hope will come out of this?
We're hoping to identify the next generation of Maine musicians that become household names, and we're hoping to give them a real opportunity to grow as an artist, get to know their audience, grow an audience, and I think ultimately we will feel successful if people outgrow One Longfellow Square and move on to other bigger and better things.
That's a nice sentiment. There will be 5 fellowships given out, correct?
Correct.
But here's the catch. Deadline is fast approaching. September 1st is when they have to get their entries in,
That is
right?
correct.
Their applications
Yep. Applications are due midnight on September 1st, so we have the whole long Labor Day weekend to be working on it. The application is really simple. It's designed to be very user-friendly and simple and easy to complete in short order.
All right. Sounds like a great program. Emily, thanks for coming in and telling us about it. We really appreciate it. Again, it's the Longfellow Emerging Artist Fellowship at One Longfellow Square. The deadline, September 1st. So if you're a young musician, or maybe a not so young musician who's interested in being part of this, get that application in. More information in the 207 section of our New Center Maine app or website. Stick around. We will return right after this.